let's talk about not the 481, not 105, but the in-between totals that have made this World Cup so mouth-watering. And one of them we had last night between New Zealand and Bangladesh. Bangladesh putting on 244. They could have got maybe 10 more runs in that last over with Saifuddin batting brilliantly, and how well they bowled to keep New Zealand and took it right down. 48th over. It took Mitchell Santner and Lockie Ferguson to kind of edge it around the place, but it just shows that we are not talking about Bangladesh as a team who are causing upsets anymore. They've won their first game and they've narrowly lost their second. And I think they've really sent out a strong message.
No, absolutely. I think over the last 3, 4, 5 years, that whole thing about that these guys are not big tournament guys, these guys can't do. These guys now play a home series against the West Indies or anyone, they're favourites at home ground. And they have, the other thing is that, what we didn't expect in this World Cup is guys who actually playing those middle overs and just playing the ball round. And I feel in some ways the 50 overs format suits Bangladesh better than it suits, say, the West Indies, which are a 20 over power hitting team. Now, whereas Shakib is not that useful in a 20 over match because, he may not always have that brute strength, but in this kind of a wicket, he'll go and get a 16, 80, 17, 90, one or two guys accelerate. So they're a very good 50 over side. They may not have that much brute power as some of the other guys. And also, 10 over bowling is a very different skill from 4 over bowling. So I think Bangladesh as a 50 over side are a far more formidable proposition than a 20 over side.
And that's another fact I wanted to bring you into it. Defending 244, in the past, Bangladesh might have done that in their home surface with 4 spinners.
4 left-arm spinners.
4 left-arm spinners. But in this case, they've done it at the Oval with, of course, a little bit of help from spin, who bowled well. Shakib Al Hasan did and Mehdi Hasan Miraj did. But Saifuddin and Mustafizur Rahman giving Mashrafe that support, and they were the ones key at the end.
To start with, it's great for the World Cup. It was important that Bangladesh also puts up that fight, puts up some points on board, and they've done it very early in the tournament. Which is a great sign for the World Cup. That you'll see the competition which everyone has been talking about, that they've cut short the number of teams for this World Cup so that the competition and the cricket which is played is of high quality. And so far, we've not been disappointed with that. Which is a great thing to see. Bangladesh putting runs on board and winning matches is always going to be the formula for them. But that non-reliance on spin and finding those options which can contribute even in these conditions, because one thing you're always looking at this Bangladesh team, because they don't have the resources to play under these conditions. Yes, if they're playing a home series, they have a better chance to beat any of the teams. But in these conditions, that they may fell short. But so far they've been putting up a fight. After a win, they've backed it up nicely, which was another complaint which most of the fans also had with that team, that you're not backing your good performances. You're just getting complacent. So that one thing they've done it nicely playing against New Zealand. So all in all, I think it's definitely going to be a confidence booster for them. New Zealand, on the other hand, was expected to win. Yes, they made it a little difficult for themselves. But so far in the World Cup, we've seen this trend that middle order batting is going to be very, very crucial in these conditions. And one another thing, that in these conditions you can lose a couple of wickets in bunches. So because of the conditions, as a bowling team, you always have to keep that in mind, that whatever that scoreboard shows, you add 2 wickets to that, because that's when the real pressure comes, and the conditions allows you to do that. So you've got to have that faith always in your ability and think that way of the game, rather than even when you're batting. You can't just relax because you have. Yesterday's case was a classic case, isn't it? New Zealand, Ross Taylor and Kane Williamson had that partnership. So you just thought that, okay, the game is just dragging along. You expected New Zealand to win easily, but wasn't the case. One brought 2. And then suddenly the pressure was on. The pressure got a couple more. The partnership couldn't really happen, and suddenly the game could have gone either way. And that's something which you will see consistently in this tournament. I feel, especially as we go along, and if the overhead conditions are supporting that.